Welcome back to the channel USA Coins 69, Coin Collectors and History Buffs. Today, we're about to uncover the incredible story behind a coin you've probably seen 1,000 times in your change, the 1980 Roosevelt dime. At first glance, it looks like a simple dime, part of everyday American currency. But hidden within this humble coin is a secret that has stunned collectors and investors alike. Stick around, because by the end of this video, you'll understand why a 1980 Roosevelt dime can be worth an eye-popping amount of money. The Roosevelt dime was first introduced in 1946 to honor President Franklin D. Roosevelt, a man whose leadership and legacy left a deep imprint on the United States. His profile, cast in metal, has been carried in the pockets and purses of millions ever since. The design remained remarkably consistent through the decades, but the value of individual coins can vary wildly, especially when rarity and errors come into play. Now, the year 1980 is fascinating for several reasons. While it may seem like just another production year, 1980 coins were minted at several locations, each marked by a mint mark, either a P for Philadelphia, D for Denver, or S for San Francisco. This mint mark is a tiny letter just below the date on the front of the coin. But some 1980 Roosevelt dimes hide subtle differences and minting quirks that can make a huge difference in value. Let's dive into the kinds of rare features that make a 1980 dime worth much more than its 10-cent face value. One of the most sought-after variations is the double die error. This occurs when the coin's design is struck twice, slightly offset, causing a doubling effect in the lettering or numbers. If you look closely at a double die coin, you might see doubled edges on words like Liberty, In God We Trust, or even the numbers in the year 1980. These errors are relatively rare, and when paired with a high-grade coin, they become exceptionally valuable. Another compelling anomaly to watch for is the off-center strike. This happens when the coin is misaligned during minting, and part of the design is cut off or pushed to one side. The degree of off-centering matters. A coin with a slight off-center strike may only fetch a moderate premium, but one with a severe off-center strike that still shows the date clearly can be a jackpot for collectors. There are also some fascinating clad planchet errors from 1980. Normally, dimes are made from a copper-nickel clad composition, but sometimes, a coin might be struck on a wrong or defective metal blank. These errors can create coins with unusual colors or weights, making them one-of-a-kind pieces in the eyes of collectors. In addition to these error types, the condition of the coin is paramount. Coins are graded on a scale from 1 to 70, where 70 is a flawless, mint-state coin with no imperfections. A common 1980 dime might be worth just a few cents if it's worn and circulated, but an error coin graded MS 65 or above by professional grading services like PCGS or NGC can be worth thousands. One more factor adds to the mystique of the 1980 Roosevelt dime. The S mint mark coins from San Francisco were primarily released as proof coins for collectors, meaning they were struck with extra care and polished dies. These proof dimes are rare in high grades, especially when combined with mint errors or varieties. Here's a story that really brings this home. A seasoned collector came across a 1980 Roosevelt dime that looked a little different. There was a subtle doubling on the date and letters, and the coin was in nearly flawless condition. After careful authentication and grading, it was certified as an MS 67 double die dime from Denver. This coin sparked intense competition among collectors and investors at auction. The bids climbed higher and higher as word spread. Eventually, the final bid reached a staggering amount, more than anyone expected for a dime minted just over 40 years ago. This rare and beautiful 1980 Roosevelt dime sold for an unbelievable $110,000. Yes, $110,000 for a single Roosevelt dime from 1980. This incredible value shows how coins with the right combination of rarity, condition, and minting errors can become priceless treasures. Today, we're uncovering the fascinating story behind a coin that might just be sitting in your pocket or your old coin stash, the 1985 Roosevelt dime. At first glance, it looks like your everyday dime, but hidden within this common coin is a secret that could make it one of the most valuable pennies in the numismatic world. By the end of this video, you'll learn why a 1985 Roosevelt dime can be worth a jaw-dropping amount of money. The Roosevelt dime, introduced in 1946 to honor President Franklin D. Roosevelt, has been a staple of American currency for decades. This coin carries the legacy of a leader who inspired a nation, and while its design has remained relatively consistent, certain years and mint marks reveal intriguing stories of rarity and value. 1985 stands out as a fascinating year. Millions of these dimes were minted, but not all are created equal. The tiny mint mark, nestled just above the year on the obverse side, tells us where the coin was minted: Philadelphia, Denver, or San Francisco. Each mint produced millions of coins, but its specific varieties and rare errors from 1985 that collectors eagerly seek. One of the most exciting aspects to explore is the double die obverse error. This error occurs when the coin's design is struck twice with slight misalignment, causing a doubled appearance on the lettering or numbers. Look closely at the word liberty, the phrase, "In God we trust," or even the year itself. Doubling here can indicate a rare double die. These coins are relatively scarce, and when found in excellent condition, their value skyrockets. Another captivating feature is the off-center strike. Imagine a dime that looks like it was struck off the middle of the planchet, part of the design missing, shifted to one side. These coins are not only fascinating to look at but highly prized by collectors, especially when the date and mint mark remain clear and legible. In addition to these errors, 1985 saw some clad planchet anomalies, coins struck on incorrect or defective metal blanks. This could produce a coin with unusual colors, thickness, or weight, instantly setting it apart as a collector's gem. Condition plays a crucial role in a coin's worth. The grading scale runs from 1 to 70, with 70 representing a flawless, perfect coin. Most coins in circulation have wear and tear, lowering their grade and value. But coins graded MS 65 or higher, especially those with unique errors or rare mint marks, are highly sought after and command significant premiums. The S mint mark coins from San Francisco are particularly interesting. Often produced as proof coins, these were struck with extra care and polished dies, making high-grade examples rare and valuable. Now, here's the exciting part. Recently, a remarkable 1985 Roosevelt dime surfaced, an almost perfect specimen showing a pronounced double die error and an immaculate mint state grade. This coin sparked a fierce bidding war among collectors and investors worldwide. The final auction price was staggering. This single 1985 Roosevelt dime sold for an unbelievable $140,000. Yes, $140,000 for a dime minted in 1985. This extraordinary sale reminds us that coins can hold incredible value when rarity, condition, and unique errors align perfectly. Today, we're spotlighting a coin that might seem quite ordinary at first glance but holds an extraordinary secret: the 2011 Roosevelt dime from the United States. You might be surprised to learn that this modern coin could be worth far more than its face value, and by the end of this video, you'll discover why some of these dimes are commanding jaw-dropping prices on the collector's market. The Roosevelt dime has been an enduring symbol on American currency since it was first introduced in 1946, honoring the legacy of President Franklin D. Roosevelt. Over the years, it's become one of the most familiar coins in everyday circulation. However, despite its common appearance, certain years and mint marks can reveal rare and highly valuable versions. And 2011 is one of those years that's creating a buzz among numismatists and investors alike. The 2011 Roosevelt dimes were minted at multiple facilities, identified by the tiny mint mark just to the right of the date on the obverse side: P for Philadelphia, D for Denver, and S for San Francisco. While the majority of these coins were produced for circulation, some were specially struck as proof coins with extra care, making those particular examples far more desirable. What makes the 2011 dime fascinating isn't just the mint mark but the presence of a number of unusual errors and varieties that have been documented by collectors. These errors include double die obverse, where the details like the letters in Liberty or the date appear doubled due to a misaligned die during striking. This doubling effect might be subtle to the naked eye, but to a trained collector, it's a sign of rarity. Another error collectors seek out are the off-center strikes, coins where the design was struck off the middle of the metal blank. These off-center dimes can be dramatic or mild, but those with clear dates and mint marks and a significant portion of the design missing can fetch incredible prices. Also noteworthy are the clad planchet errors, which occur when a dime is struck on an improper or defective metal blank. These coins often display unusual coloring or texture, distinguishing them sharply from regular dimes and instantly increasing their value. Condition remains a key factor in the worth of any coin. Coins are graded from poor condition to pristine mint state 70. The 2011 Roosevelt dimes, especially those with errors, that have been professionally graded as MS 65 or higher, are rare finds and highly prized. The mint mark proof coins are particularly notable since they were struck with extra polish and care, making high-grade proofs from 2011 exceptionally scarce in error varieties. Here's a remarkable story to illustrate just how valuable these dimes can become. A collector unearthed a 2011 Roosevelt dime with an eye-catching double die obverse error, flawless surfaces, and an immaculate strike. After authentication and grading, the coin received a near-perfect grade from leading numismatic experts. This discovery ignited a fierce bidding war in the coin collecting community. Enthusiasts and investors alike realized they were looking at a truly unique piece of history, one that combined rarity, exceptional condition, and a notable minting anomaly. When the gavel fell at auction, the final sale price shocked everyone. This extraordinary 2011 Roosevelt dime sold for an astonishing $170,000. Yes, $170,000 for a single dime minted less than 2 decades ago. This unbelievable valuation reminds us all that treasure can be hiding in the coins we often overlook. A dime, seemingly common and insignificant, can turn out to be a golden opportunity for collectors who know what to look for. Today's video is going to blow your mind. Because today, we're diving into the captivating world of the 2001 Roosevelt 1 dime, a coin that, while commonly overlooked, may just be one of the most surprising hidden treasures of modern US currency. By the end of this video, you'll see why this unassuming little coin could be worth far more than its face value. And trust me, the amount we're talking about will leave you stunned. Let's begin by taking a closer look at the dime itself. The Roosevelt dime has been in circulation since 1946, introduced to honor President Franklin D. Roosevelt after his passing. It replaced the Mercury dime and has remained a constant presence in pockets, wallets, and coin jars for decades. While its design hasn't changed much over the years, subtle variations and errors in certain years, like the one we're focusing on today, can turn an everyday coin into a collector's dream. Now, when it comes to the 2001 Roosevelt dime, most people wouldn't give it a second thought. After all, billions of dimes were minted in that year at the Philadelphia, P., and Denver, D., mints, with additional proof coins minted in San Francisco, S. You can find the mint mark just to the right of the year on the coin's obverse side. That's the side with Roosevelt's profile. But here's where things get very interesting. While the majority of these coins were standard issue, a select few left the mint with extraordinary characteristics that have turned them into some of the most desirable coins in recent years. One of the most fascinating factors that can make a 2001 Roosevelt dime extremely valuable is a mint error. That's right, an imperfection. Sounds odd, doesn't it? But in the world of coin collecting, mint errors can turn an otherwise ordinary coin into a rare prize. One example is the double die error, which happens when the coin is struck more than once by the die, slightly out of alignment. This results in visible doubling on the lettering, numbers, or design details, especially noticeable on words like Liberty, In God We Trust, and the date, 2001. Another highly sought-after variation is the off-center strike. These errors occur when the coin isn't perfectly aligned in the press, causing the design to be misaligned or shifted off the planchet. The more off-center the strike, while still keeping the date and mint mark visible, the more valuable the coin becomes. There's also the rare but incredibly intriguing wrong planchet error, where the dime is accidentally struck on a planchet intended for another denomination, such as a penny or even a foreign coin. These mistakes are extremely rare and collectors are willing to pay huge premiums for them, and let's not forget proof coins. The San Francisco Mint produced proof dimes in 2001, which were struck with specially prepared dies on polished planchets. These coins have mirror-like finishes and are often found in special collector sets. While most of them are quite beautiful, the true value comes when there's a rare error, such as a no-s mint mark proof or a misstrike, combined with the flawless condition. Now, speaking of condition, this is one of the most important factors when determining a coin's value. Coins are graded on the Sheldon scale, which ranges from 1 to 70. A grade of MS, mint state, 60 or higher means the coin has never been in circulation and shows no signs of wear. When a rare coin like a 2001 Roosevelt dime is found in MS 67, MS 68, or higher, its value increases dramatically. Combine that with a mint error, and now we're talking serious money. In recent years, collectors have become more aware of the nuances in modern coins, especially those minted from the late 1990s through the early 2000s. This attention has led to an increase in value for coins that might once have been ignored. The 2001 Roosevelt dime has quietly moved up the ranks, thanks to a handful of exceptional examples being discovered. Now, let me tell you about one truly mind-blowing example. A collector browsing through a set of coins stumbled upon a 2001 Roosevelt dime that looked different. After a closer inspection, they noticed doubling in the text, near-perfect luster, and a highly unusual surface quality. Curious, they sent the coin to be graded and authenticated by a leading third-party grading service. When the results came back, they were stunned. It had an ultra-rare double-die obverse, combined with a mint state 68 grade. In other words, it was not only a rare error coin, it was in almost perfect condition. This discovery quickly made waves in the coin collecting community. Collectors and investors were eager to get their hands on it, knowing that a coin like this doesn't come around often. And when the auction date finally arrived, the bidding went wild. One after another, determined bidders tried to outdo each other, recognizing the coin's extraordinary blend of rarity, beauty, and historical significance. When the final bid came in, the auction house went silent for a moment, then confirmed the winning amount. That single 2001 Roosevelt dime sold for an astonishing $183,000. Yes, you heard that right. $183,000 for a 10-cent piece that could have easily been spent on a pack of gum. Or dropped in a parking meter. Let this be a reminder to us all: treasure doesn't always come in chests buried in the ground. Sometimes, it's hiding in plain sight, in our pockets, drawers, and old coin jars. So the next time you come across a Roosevelt dime, especially from the year 2001, take a good look. Check the mint mark. Examine the lettering. Look for any unusual patterns, misalignments, or colorings. You might just be holding a small fortune in the palm of your hand. Today, we're going to dive deep into one of those hidden gems that most people overlook, the 1991 Roosevelt dime from the United States of America. It's small, familiar, and incredibly easy to ignore, but for those who know what to look for, this little coin could be the key to unlocking an unbelievable fortune. Now, before you shrug it off as just another dime, let me assure you, what you're about to discover will change the way you look at pocket change forever. The Roosevelt dime has been in circulation for decades, first introduced in 1946 to honor President Franklin D. Roosevelt. Since then, the design has become a fixture of American currency. But while the appearance of the coin has remained largely the same, the hidden value of specific years, including 1991, has taken some collectors by complete surprise. So what makes the 1991 Roosevelt dime special? For starters, let's talk about where it was minted. In 1991, dimes were produced at 3 different U.S. mint locations: Philadelphia, P., Denver, D., and San Francisco, S. You can find the mint mark on the obverse side of the coin, just to the right of Roosevelt's neck. Each mint location can tell a different story, especially when it comes to rare errors and varieties. Let's begin with something collectors love to talk about: mint errors. That's where things get really exciting. One of the most sought-after error types in the 1991 Roosevelt dime is the double die obverse. This error happens during the striking process when the die imprints the coin more than once, slightly out of alignment. The result? A doubling effect, usually seen in the lettering such as Liberty, In God We Trust, and the date, 1991. These doubling details might be subtle, but for collectors, they're a clear signal that the coin is anything but ordinary. Then there's the off-center strike, where the coin design doesn't land squarely in the center of the planchet. The result is a strikingly visual error, where part of the design appears cut off or shifted. If the error is dramatic, and especially if the date and mint mark are still visible, this type of mistake can make the coin extraordinarily valuable. Another highly prized error is the clad layer missing error. Most Roosevelt dimes are composed of a copper core with a nickel outer layer. In rare cases, the nickel layer is missing from one side or both, giving the coin a dull, coppery appearance instead of the shiny silver color we're used to seeing. These errors are incredibly rare and visually distinct, making them instant hits with error coin collectors. And let's not forget about proof coins, especially those from the San Francisco Mint marked with an S. These coins were struck with polished dies on special planchets for collectors and are usually found in proof sets. A proof coin from 1991 with a striking error, like a missing mint mark or die clash, could be worth an astounding amount, especially in near-perfect condition. Speaking of condition, coin grading is another essential factor in determining the value of your 1991 Roosevelt dime. Coins are graded on a scale from 1 to 70, with 70 representing a perfect specimen with no imperfections even under magnification. Most coins in circulation show signs of wear, but a 1991 dime that's been preserved in mint state, graded MS65 or higher, is already something special. Combine that with an error or unusual mint variety, and you're looking at something truly rare. Now here's the part of the story that really hits home: that a collector, just like many of us, was going through a batch of old coins, something they'd set aside years ago and forgotten about. Among them was a 1991 Roosevelt dime that looked a little different. On closer inspection, they noticed unusual doubling on the lettering and a rich luster that suggested it had never seen circulation. They sent the coin in for grading and authentication, not expecting much. What came back shocked them. The coin had an ultra-rare double die obverse, a pristine surface, and was graded MS68. This was a 1 in a million type of find. Word spread quickly across the coin collecting community. Bidders from around the country, and even internationally, lined up for a chance to own this remarkable piece. The auction was intense, with the price climbing higher and higher as serious collectors recognized the true rarity of this coin. When the final bid came in, jaws dropped. That single 1991 Roosevelt dime sold for a staggering $193,000. Yes, you heard that right. $193,000 for a dime that someone once might have used to buy a soda or make a phone call. This isn't just a once-in-a-lifetime story, it's a reminder. A reminder that extraordinary value can hide in the most ordinary places. Your pocket change, your old coin jar, or that roll of dimes sitting in a drawer might hold something far more valuable than you imagined. So here's what you should do: grab a magnifying glass, pull out your 1991 dimes, and start checking for those tiny details. Look for doubling, off-center designs, unusual colors, and rare mint marks. If you find something that looks unusual, have it examined by a professional coin grading service. Because you never know, you could be holding a small piece of metal with a value that could change your life. Thanks for watching this deep dive into the 1991 Roosevelt dime. If you enjoyed this video and want more incredible stories about hidden treasures in your pocket change, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notification bell so you never miss a new episode. Until next time, keep collecting, stay curious, and always look twice at your change, because one little dime might just be worth $195,000. Happy hunting.